What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another weekly update. And this week, we have been kind of aiming towards this particular week. We have Jackson Hole at the end of the week, starting on Thursday, going into Saturday. We also have core CPI data on Friday. We have a lot of big data coming out this week to kind of pinpoint where inflation is standing. Is it transitory? Is it what exactly is going on with that particular situation? We've definitely got a lot of different mixed signals from the Fed. Again, the Fed is very divided. I think in this, at least the way it's coming across, a lot of the documentation, the FOMC minutes. Again, you get people who want to taper next week or next month, and then you got people who want to taper sometime next year, and then people are indefinite. But one thing that did happen on Friday was the Fed essentially for Jackson Hole is normally an in-person event. They have since changed that on Friday to make it remote. So that will be interesting. Maybe that's leaning towards concern as far as the Delta variant and what they're seeing there. And so could again reflect decisions going to be made about tapering. Again, tapering will be more based off of buying assets as opposed to raising rates. I think that's where a lot of people are getting confused. But I think there's some understanding starting to be seen in the market because tech is holding well. Again, if there's any kind of threat of increasing rates, tech is going to be the first one to go down. Then your banks and your value stocks will start pushing up. We're seeing tech holding well and getting positioned to start running again. Friday was quite interesting. We had a bounce back after that sell-off of the FOMC minutes. We had the Tuesday conversation with Mr. Powell, and then Wednesday with FOMC note digestion. We dipped pretty hard last week, but again, we climbed all the way back into Friday, getting ready to aim for all-time highs. Now, will we see that? It's interesting. Yes, you can say correction. I know even for myself, I say, yeah, there needs to be a correction. There needs to be a correction, but there doesn't really need to be a correction. These dips are about, some of these dips have been pretty crazy. I know it was a week or two ago, we dipped, I think it was 300 points on the index, which was quite a bit. Being said, these are quick dips and quick rips. So it's just figuring out what pattern. This is the pattern that's been. It seems to be every Tuesday, Wednesday. We get some sort of news and we sell off and then we start ripping. Although this Friday, I don't think it'll be ripping because we will be in Jackson Hole at the end of the week. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how this market plays. There are a couple earnings, nothing really to mention in my mind. All the major earnings, I think, are pretty much done from this point. I think normally during the stage, there's still low volume, and we would be kind of tailing off going into September, and then started to slowly boost out of that September lull into the holiday earnings and stuff coming up. But nothing, again, Seem wants to give. There's no real negative news. China's kind of a little circulation there, but nothing major that is going to, I think, bring down the markets. The Afghan stuff, in my mind, I don't think it's enough to pull anything down yet. I'm not seeing anything yet that would really pull it down, but we shall see. We'll definitely see. Again, SPY opened up flat. So as long as tomorrow, if we continue to open flat, I don't think we're going to open flat tomorrow. I don't think we're going to gap up, to be honest. I think if we would have gapped up, there would have been coming into Sunday night. I think we'll probably do a little bit of pulling back. I would actually probably see if we hit that 441 mark on SPY tomorrow morning, and then start, if not hold there, start pushing back up towards the week, and then kind of dying off, getting in that chop fest again towards the end of the week is what I'm foreseeing. Again, anything can happen. QQQ, again, extremely strong. That's mass sell-off, and then we've just been nothing but popping back up, recovering extremely fast. I do have a watch list, but we will have to see on this watch list. I have Etsy, Google, Facebook, Aapl, Coin, BYND. I like Coin because of Bitcoin has been running and is flirting with 50K. So I can see coin and MSTR also running quite hard this week if that continues. So that's why I added that there. And we'll take a look at Etsy for tomorrow. I do also like Roblox. I didn't add that, but normally this only tends to really push up when the market, when tech is kind of suffering a little bit. This is kind of the last straw, it seems like, for tech. Like, people start soaking money into Roblox when tech starts going down. But there's been a lot of up and down. So Roblox kind of just been stuck in one spot. Etsy is the first one I have. Etsy I do like. It did break the wedge on Friday. I want to see if we're going to continue with this. I do like Etsy on the daily. On the daily, it was a nice breakout. I want to see if we actually come back down and retest essentially the 196 mark, see if that is a possibility. If so, we could possibly go back to that 210 mark, try to retest around the 210 mark. Could be a strong possibility for Etsy. Googl is one I like. I'm trying to stay with ones that have had a lot of strength. Googl is one I watched. I watched it flirt with this middle Bollinger Band on Friday. I wanted to see if it held that, and it sure did, and it started actually pushing up. Now the next question is it going to break all-time highs here? Is 2767 and continue pushing even higher? Is something I want to keep an eye on Googl. So depending on how the market plays out, I definitely want to keep an eye on that. This is essentially a good lead indicator right now, because out of all the earnings, Google has definitely been the leader out of their earnings. And so it's right now one I want to keep an eye on to see how the market is playing it. Facebook is the other one. Now the daily on this one, it's not the greatest. I don't like that it's under the middle Bollinger Band. It's been really kind of trading sideways, and every time it does make an all-time high, it just comes right back down. But I want to see if it breaks this 361, especially coming into this week. Again, we have a lot. We have the Fed. We have a lot of data this week. I'm trying to think, there was something else. Again, everything is still pointing. If you look at everything from what Powell said and everything, and especially with the changes that the Fed made, making it remote, the Delta variant and all that stuff, I think a strong possibility that big tech could start really ripping again and kind of leaving everything else in the dust. So that's something I'm trying to keep an eye on. I want to also try to keep an eye on the banks this week and see what's going on with them. But Aapl, it did retest that middle Bollinger Band. I've been trying to play this, but it's been kind of stuck in this range on Friday. I want to see if this actually comes back up and tries to retest all-time highs. Another one that's a good one to keep on watch this week. I'm talking about the FANGs for a while. Coin, again, it retested some old resistance in my mind here. There was a big consolidation box. It looks like it retested and bounced right out of that. I didn't miss it on Friday. I was looking at this, and by the time I got around a coin, it had already popped out of this middle Bollinger Band. So I want to watch this for continuation, especially if Bitcoin is going to run. Coin is something I want to keep on watch this week. And then I also have BYND is interesting. This one has been consolidating around this 116 mark. So that's what I like to look for with BYND. The PR department always does extremely well. I think it is, it's still a good, in my mind, I think it's still a good product, even though it's been losing money. It's just still trying to gain, I think, a lot of headwind and head traction. I think the demand is still there. So this is something I want to keep on watch. I want to watch this 160 mark. If it does continue to hold this, I want to take a position on this week. Definitely tight stop. Don't want it to break below this, because I think if it does break below, you could easily start seeing that 104 mark around there, around that 100 mark, flirting with that. Perhaps building another base there before we head back up. So I do have to keep BYND on watch. Again, I don't typically like to keep it on watch because it does fluctuate a lot. I have been typically played in shares a lot more with this as opposed to options, only because options get chewed up pretty quick with BYND. And the other one I did not mention is Planter. Something I really want to watch. I almost took a position on this Friday. It is consolidating. It is playing this range here. I think if anything, it did crush earnings. I want to see if this holds this week. If it does, I'd like to take a position. Trying to get around that middle Bollinger Band, retest, and if possibly there, keep a tight stop there. More likely play shares unless it gets really low, like this back down to the 20s again. I mean, I don't think we'll see 16. It hit 16 at one point earlier, about probably 2 months ago. I missed that, but if it does sink that low, I'll definitely grab calls when it gets that low. But around that 20 mark, I try to look to grab it there as well. So I want to keep this definitely on watch as a bonus. That's pretty much what I got for this week. Will be interesting. Again, Jackson Hole is until the end of the week, but I think once that happens, we'll get some more clarification. And the next week, I think after that, we can find a definite direction and kind of get out of this chop. We might see a couple of days of chop trying to get some digestion, but there'll definitely be a move out of what's coming at the end of the week. So remember to manage risk and hit the like button if you have made it this far. Until next time, I will see you guys later.